All right, so yesterday we talked about straight stitches and we just stitched on notebook paper and I got you guys comfortable with a straight stitch. But today I want to talk about pivots, which is when you are sewing into a corner, and I want to talk about doing round edges, and I want to talk about doing a reverse stitch, okay? So before I even start, I'm going to make sure my machine's on. It's at 8 and at a 4. Ralph is up. So first thing I'm going to talk about is a reverse stitch. A reverse stitch is when you're tying a knot in your fabric, okay? The reverse stitch button is right here, okay? When I go to reverse stitch, I push this down and I hold it down. I push on the foot control. It's going to start pulling my paper back out the opposite direction, okay? If I release this, then it's going to continue going the right direction, okay? So I'm going to show you kind of what it's going to look like, and then I'll tell you when you'll use it. So if I were going to stitch right now, get myself lined up, get on my line, go forward some, stop, I push down my reverse stitch, okay? Now I hit it again, and you're going to see that's going to go backwards. I will release, and I continue going forward. Make sure Ralph is up with my presser foot, and there you go. What you will see will happen is these stitches that were reverse stitch are bigger holes, okay? So do you kind of see how the holes are a little bit bigger there at the top than at the bottom? It's because that means the string has gone through that hole twice, okay? So when you are doing a reverse stitch, your string is basically going forward. When you hit the reverse, it's going back. And then when you let go of it, it goes back forward. So you create a knot in your line, okay? Because you're going forward, back, forward. When do you think you're going to use a reverse stitch? The beginning and the end of every stitch, okay? So your mask shape, when you stitch your mask, it's going to look like this, okay? It's going to kind of look like this, okay? You're going to start probably somewhere right here. When you're stitching, you're going to go all the way around, and then you're going to stop somewhere around here. That means you're reverse stitching right here and right here, okay? You will have to reverse stitch multiple times when you're doing your inside stitches also. So you need to know that if this is my line, if this is my line, I'm going to reverse stitch here and here, okay? It ties that knot. If you don't tie the knot, then your string can easily just come undone. All right, so that is a reverse stitch. I'm going to have you guys practice the reverse stitch a couple times just so I can see that you know how to use it. Now we're going to talk about pivots. So if I were going to draw, if I can use that marker, right? If I were going to draw just a random shape, okay? Here's my random shape, okay? See how there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 angles? Okay. You have angles in your mask. You have an angle here, an angle here, an angle here, and an angle here. When you do that angle, I want you to make sure that your needle is all the way in that corner and not going past it, okay? It's not a curved edge, it's a corner. So when you're stitching, you have to make sure you get right up to that corner and then turn. So what I'm going to show you is how to do a reverse stitch. So if I was doing a reverse stitch, or not reverse stitch, pivot stitch, I lay down my machine, or my paper, put down my press foot, make sure Ralph's up, and I'm going to start sewing, okay? I go forward. Now, I'm really close to my corner now, aren't I? I'm really close to it. How comfortable do you think I feel just to hit my foot control and get all the way to that corner? I might make it, but I might go past my corner. Do I want to go past my corner? No. So a way to make this easier for you is when you get close to your corner, go ahead and use the hand wheel and turn it towards you, okay? So I'm going to turn my hand wheel towards me. Do you see how my machine's still moving? Okay? I can do that all the way up to the corner. Okay, now my needle is in the corner of my stitch, okay? Now what I want to do is I'm going to lift up my presser foot. Where's my needle at right now? It's in it. It's down the machine. I'm going to lift up my presser foot and watch. I can move my fabric and paper. You see how it's staying there? You know when there's like you know, I don't know if you do dance, but in dance, if you're doing a spin, you have one foot planted and then you spin. This is like your foot is planted, and now you can spin your paper. You can rotate it. So now, if I stitch that way, now I'm going to turn it this way, put down my presser foot, and now I'm going to start stitching forward. Does that make sense? So now I'm going to go forward. Okay, again, I'm getting close to my corner. So I'm just going to turn the hand wheel towards me until I get to my corner. This ensures that I'm not going to go past my corner, and it'll make sure that I don't mess up my corner at all. So now my needle is where? It's in my paper. I lift my presser foot. Now I can turn it. So I turn it again, push my presser foot down, and now I can start my next line. So I'm going to start stitching again. Okay, I'm getting close to my corner again. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to go past it. So I'm just going to hand wheel it all the way to the corner. Okay, now where's the needle at? In the machine. Okay, I turn it. And then I keep going. All right, I'm getting close to my corner again. I'm going to slow down. I'm just going to use my hand wheel to it. Now, if you think that you can handle using the foot control up to the corner, go for it. But me and making sure that I want to make sure my mask is fully closed, this is a safe way to do it, okay? It might take a little bit more time, but it will ensure that you won't mess it up. So my needle's down there, turn it, lay it down. Okay, now I have a small area, so I'm going to go slow, and then I'm going to hand wheel to my corner. There we go, okay? So I'm going to stop here, make sure Ralph's up, lift it up. Do you see how I have a perfect pivot in all those corners? Okay? I want to see that one single hole in your corner. So when you're stitching, and this is your line, okay? Let's say this is your line. Let me go faint so you can kind of see. Okay? And you start stitching, these holes are going to be like this. I want to make sure that I see that hole specifically in that corner. And then it goes like that. Okay? I don't want to see the hole like this. I don't want to see holes going up like that, because that's not pivot. Okay? I also don't want to see you do like this and have a hole here and just turn the paper and you have a hole there. Okay? Make sure that you are going to the corner and then across. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is curve stitches. Okay? So you're going to be practicing on this paper. You're going to do some straight stitches and show me your reverse stitch. You're going to do some pivots on here because these are really good pivots. Then you're going to do some curves, and then you're going to do curves with pivots. So if you're going to do this paper, I would do this straight line first, then do pivots, then do the curve, and then do the combination, okay? So when you're doing a curve, it's best to go slow because you have control. Like I said, on your mask, you have a whole curve on the top of it. If you don't do that curve correctly, your mask will either, you won't catch all your fabric, or you'll come up to a point and then it'll look weird, okay? So you have to go slow. So when you get on here and you're ready to start stitching, you're gonna lay your line as if it's going straight, line it up, and then you're gonna start sewing. But I want you to go slow, and you're slowly just gonna turn the paper and you see how I kind of got off the line a little bit? Olivia, wait for my phone. Tell them I'm in the middle of a demo. Okay, I kind of got off my line a little bit. And that's not good, honestly, because that means I'm missing it. But do you see how that's a perfectly good curve? Okay, you have to make sure that you are getting that curve and you can see that line that you're following, okay? So today, you're going to show me straight lines with a reverse stitch. You're going to show me a curve. You're going to show me pivots. You're going to show me curves with pivots, okay? Any questions on how to do those three? Okay.